Hi everybody. I want to take a few minutes to explain that I fully understand the gravity and the seriousness of the COVID-19 pandemic. In filming this video and in doing this makeup look, I mean no harm. I'm simply taking all of my stress and my fear and my anxiety in this situation and channeling it into something creative that I can use to sort of vent, I guess. Like many of you, I have been affected by the COVID-19 virus. Prior to today, in fact yesterday evening, I flew home from France, where I was working my dream job. I was teaching English in a middle school and a high school in the south of France near Bordeaux. And I was having an amazing time. And unfortunately, I had to make the difficult decision to come home. A few weeks ago, the President of France made the decision to put the country on lockdown, which meant that I could not leave the house without a form called une attestation, which sort of justified my reason for leaving. That didn't work well with my mental health, unfortunately. I was 3,000 miles away from my support system, my family, and I couldn't do it. They're expecting the lockdown in France to last at least 6 weeks, and I would go absolutely crazy. I'm already crazy, but I would go even crazier. So now I'm home. I'm in America, but because I was in a high-risk environment surrounded by potential vectors for the disease, I have chosen to quarantine myself for 2 weeks. So I'm in the basement of my house, not really interacting with my family members in any way, and luckily using my own bathroom and everything, and just minimizing the risk of infecting somebody if I do happen to fall ill. So really, I mean nothing negative in doing this makeup. It's simply my way of controlling an incredibly difficult situation while I'm alone in my basement for the next 2 weeks. I also want to take this time to personally thank Air France for getting me home, my friend Julia for driving me home from the airport and risking infection for herself, and my friends Ashley and Ashley for being incredible support systems while I cried over FaceTime from France for the last few weeks. I also want to thank anybody who's considered an essential worker during this crisis, whether you're a cashier, a flight attendant, a captain, a police officer. If you are going out and you are working during this pandemic, I am grateful for you, and I wish you the best of health and the best of luck. And to the rest of you, stay the fuck home. You do not need to go out. You do not need to leave your homes. Stay home, okay? Distance yourself socially. Play Animal Crossing. Do anything. Just stay the fuck home. And now we'll start the video. Okay, voiceover time. So, as with most of my makeup tutorials, I'm blocking out my brows first. I'm not going to go into detail on how to do this. There are so many videos online already. If you want one from me specifically, just let me know in the comments. I'll happily make one. Because I'm in quarantine, I can't go out and buy a bald cap, so I'm making a ghetto bald cap out of a Walmart bag. I'm just holding the bag tight against my head, lining my hairline, and cutting that out. Make sure it fits. I look sexy with my hair pushed back. Put a line of liquid latex on your forehead. This is what we are going to use to adhere the bag to our skin. Place the bag where you think it should go. And if you're like me, you're going to make a mistake. Don't worry, just move it over. And this virus has me panicking even when I sneeze. Watch. Luckily, that was just the cocaine I snorted earlier making my nose itchy, so I continued to stick the bag to my head. Because I'm in quarantine and I wasn't going to go outside in this look, I didn't feel like sticking the rest of the bald cap down to the back of my head. Instead, I made a man bun. I don't particularly like having long hair because it turns into an afro, so this was my first time ever having a man bun, and it felt great. Now we have to reinforce the plastic with something. Usually I use toilet paper, but that is such a hot commodity now, we're going to put that on the back shelf. The toilet paper, knowing its dominance, knocks over my French copy of The Devil Wears Prada. I'm too lazy to pick it up, so it's going to stay there. So, using Kleenex, which I'm sure is also a hot commodity, but I do need to use something, I'm essentially papier-mâchéing my head with a mixture of Kleenex and liquid latex. This is a technique I use often, and you might recognize it from my King Ramses tutorial. If you haven't seen my King Ramses tutorial, here's a card. Basically, you're going to papier-mâché your entire head. And I'm going to show you most of the process. How much footage do you need? It's pretty self-explanatory. While my head dries, I'm taking a white cream paint. This is Ben Nye's Clown White, and I'm covering my entire face. Again, how much footage do you need? Just cover your face in white makeup. Here's more footage of me covering my face in white makeup. Now I'm covering my cheek and my nose. Don't worry about making it even. If you haven't realized by now, this isn't a beauty look. After you're done with the cream makeup, take a white powder. Put the white powder on your face and really cake it on. When I say cake it on, I'm not kidding. You should feel like Marie Antoinette. Like, cake this shit on. Bake it, bitch. And then dust it all off. Now it's time for the eyes. We're going for a dramatic, sad-looking eye, and to do that, I'm using a red cream paint, and I'm putting it on the upper inner part of my eye. Technically, it's not even part of my eye, it's just, above where my upper inner part of my eye is. I'm not a scientist, don't ask me for anatomy. And then I'm bringing that down, I'm dragging it to my outer corner. Now I know that part, see? And then I'm blending it up to make myself look even more sad. And this is just me playing around with proportions and shapes and blending, so, I don't know, you have your own face, figure it out. And I'm dragging that red makeup under my eye. And then you can see I stipple down below the outer under part of my eye. You can see what I'm doing. See, I'm stippling, I'm bringing it out, under, yeah, anatomy. To give everything a little bit more depth, I'm taking a darker red shadow, and I'm taking that into the crease. Yeah, we'll call that the crease. And then I take some white and I bring back some highlight onto the brow, and just play with light and shadow to make sure it's blended and that you look kind of sad and mopey. To get this sort of mottled, bloody look and add some texture to my skin, I took a wedge sponge and I picked little pieces off of the end so that it has a nice texture, and I stipple on some red to my skin. This breaks up the texture, gives it a kind of rough look, and I don't know, I really like it. So I put that out under my eyes, I put that on my nose, and then I follow up with that same dark shadow I used to give it even more dimension. And you can see here that I'm just using some white to correct that placement of the red. I didn't quite like it. Go ahead and add some red around your mouth. Why not? It's 2020. The world is ending. You can do whatever you want. Then I'm taking some white cream just to bring back some white, bring back some highlight, edge up the texture a bit. And then I'm taking that dark shadow I used on a pencil brush, and I'm adding in some veins because I felt like veins were kind of necessary. You see, I'm just painting them all over my face, very lightly, and then tapping them with my finger to blend them into my skin. And I don't know, it added a really cool dimension, and it broke up the texture a bit. And I really hated that harshness of the line in between the pouty eyes, so I'm going ahead and blending that. You're welcome. And then I'm also taking that down to contour the top of my nose, but not too severely, just giving my face some depth. Add some white powder to your eyelids. That's pretty. So my inspiration for this look was the electron microscope images of the coronavirus, which is named the coronavirus because of the crown of spiky shit it has. So this look would not be complete unless I had a crown of spiky shit. So to make the spiky shit, I dipped some Q-tips in liquid latex, painted them red, and you can see I cut the ends off of one Q-tip and stuck it onto the other end. It's pretty easy using liquid latex, which is a fabulous adhesive. Quite simply, all you need to do is shove the Q-tips into that plastic bald cap and then cover them in that paper mache liquid latex mix to blend them back in. And I'm not getting through this quarantine sober, and if you expect me to do so, you can eat me. Go ahead and add a second row to your wonderful crown of spiky shit. So I realized during this process that I'm wearing a hoodie that I can't unzip. I have to pull it off over my head. So I had to go do that off camera because I knew there would be damage. And while I was off camera, I painted my neck and ears white, added a third row of Q-tips, and started to paint my head white. And now I'm just touching up the red on the Q-tips. And then using similar techniques that you use on your face, go ahead and add some red and some darker red to your head. You can see I'm hand painting the red in, I'm doing some veins, and, just adding some texture. And I went ahead and added some red and some veining to my neck too. I kept the red mostly to the center part of my neck, more my throat area. I don't know why, don't ask me to justify my choices, this is my video. And then I went and painted some veins, and I brought those veins up onto my jaw. So there's a really nice continuity between neck, face, and head. And then I went back in with some white paint just to add some texture, add some highlight, and then bring back a little bit of the depth to the skin. I'm sorry that I'm bending down looking into the mirror. I'm actually an idiot. But I'm adding some darker cream paint under my eyes and to the outer corner. And now I'm painting just the center part of my mouth with some red paint to give it some depth, to give it a creepy kind of look. I don't know. Again, do not ask me to justify my choices. I also thought my face was looking kind of flat, so I went and contoured with that red. I kept it kind of blotchy, blended it a little bit. I'm beautiful, whatever. Now all you have to do is add some contacts, and you are good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, click on the notification bell. I don't care. And please stay safe, stay at home. Thanks.